Hare Krishna. First of all, I would like to seek blessings from all seniors, Radhesham Prabhu, Antadip Prabhu, and all present, to all Vaishnavas to let me speak on this topic. Actually, I chose this topic because I'm fully 110% lacking in this, cultivating tolerance and controlling anger in sadhaka's life. So I also did some research work to improve myself also in this, and like to have your mercy also, so that I can speak in parampara and follow and please try to please everyone. I would like to ask everyone first that how many of you in all your life till now have been intolerant or facing anger towards others? They can say Hari Bol. So I think this is a relevant topic, right? So basically, then now here I will be discussing on various content like problems. Here I will be defining it. Then the various quotes will be there. First, then I will analyze the cause. What is the cause? Why it happens? When it happens? And various situations. Then the solutions to it. And one of the case study which was specified here is Shiva and Daksha case study. So that I will be specifying. And then there will be a very nice activity for all of you. So be patient for hearing. And then this, So there is a very nice definition of tolerance. Tolerance is the ability to work in very demanding situations where there is a lot of turbulence and high pressure. We face this in many kinds of train delaying, getting late for train and stuck in traffic. And this is the case where we get more into blaming, mourning and wailing mode, BMW mode. And we say, "Arey tumhari wajah se galat hua, abhi kya train nahi pakadenge?" So we get into this kind of mode. And these are the provoking situations. Like we see here, very long traffic. And next definition is tolerance is actually the stopper between temptation and transgression. This is the point. Temptation is here and transgression is here. We have to apply the tolerance below. So this is the stopper between it. And so very famous example of there is like of when we get tempted by many of the things, small things, and we instead of getting the tolerance, so what we have to apply there, we have to understand three conditions over there. NIC formula we can apply. We have to understand what is the need of that situation, then act accordingly, then interest, and then concern. Then only we can imply this tolerance between temptation and transgression. Otherwise, in many of the cases, it get converted into transgression. One of the example in Lilamrita, it comes, one person, Prabhupada heard that he flew off his car from the cliff. And he was coming Delhi for the programs, and the news came he died by flying off car from he was driving and just he did suicide. Prabhupada told that he was not having any meaning to the life. He was tempted and he acted on it. So there was no tolerance. Then we are here to quote some of the, here Prabhupada says in 13.8 shloka, tolerance means that one should be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. This is the biggest definition, very hard to imply. So it is how to bear insult and dishonor from. Shiva and Daksha is the very honorable example where they insulted tolerance from, they had tolerance and showed tolerance in the insulting cases from Daksha. Daksha insulted Lord Shiva, and in another sometime other he insulted Narada also. Both of them exemplified a very high degree of tolerance. Then by tolerance, in Srila Prabhupada says in 1.9.27, by tolerance only one can conquer the desires and avarice. Actually, these desires, all kinds of desires and avarice arise in mind only. Avanti Brahman says, neither of my problem is coming from the stars, not from planets. My all problems are arising in my mind only. So we have to tolerate this situation. And then famous, how the greatness of the people is determined. It is determined by how one is able to handle the provoking situation. And Lord Vishnu handled the provoking situation of Bhrigu's test. It is very nice example of tolerance. And His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj defines that tolerance is the dealing with negativity in a positive way. There is a story of Sadhu with who faced the spitting man. He was spitting continuously on his Sadhu whenever he was coming, and finally saliva only ended. And then he asked, what is the secret of your tolerance? So he told, what is my secret is that, oh, you are giving me nice opportunity to bathe in the holy river on this Ekadashi day. So, situation was negative, but he converted into positive way. That is our perseverance to the situation. Then His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj says, tolerance is must for spiritual advancement. And this is a point which we have to focus more in our life. Tolerance is must for spiritual advancement, both internally and externally. Famous example is of Chitraketu handling the curse of Mother Parvati. So he could have retaliated any of the way. Then Lord Shiva actually told after that Chitraketu would have cursed back, but he handled very nicely, taking at Lord's mercy and humbly begging down in front of Mother Parvati. Now we will see various conditions when to tolerate. So first is when the circumstances are uncontrollable. Example, train delay, traffic, season. We can see there are two circles. Circle of concern and circle of influence. Mainly in major of the cases, we only focus on circle of concern. There, what is circle of concern? What we can't do anything. अब ट्रैफिक में क्या कर सकते हैं? फंस गए तो अभी फंस नहीं है, अब उसमें टॉलरेट करना है. Then instead of that, we can use our time in some kind of reading. Japa is remaining. We can do बहुत सारे काम कर सकते हैं ना. And in one of the lectures I heard we can utilize it to calling to our some of them who have not called since years. उनसे बात कर सकते हैं. But majorly we focus on circle of influence. What we have to focus on circle of influence. What we can do in those situations. So the solution is many times problem healed by time. धैर्य. We have to have patience. समय के साथ वो ठीक हो जाएगा. Then how many of you would like to vote? How many of you become intolerant with devotees, not the situations? Many time हमें ऐसा situation दिख रहा है कि जैसे कोई devotees के ऊपर कोई कपड़े में कुछ दाग है, उसको हमेशा point out कर देते हैं ना. So we have to face out the sin, not the sinner. We have to target that. So the next situation when we get intolerant is people. People are unchangeable. There are unlimited, thousands and lakhs of people in the whole of the creation. One famous example from Lord Ram in the Ramayana. Lord Ram tolerated the banishment from Ayodhya. He didn't even show one symbol of any kind of kharab laga unko ki nikal diye, 14 years of banishment. He didn't showed anything. And actually whole of Ayodhya was crying, but he tolerated the situation. This is very nice, we can learn from him. And actually there are many examples, like Yudhishthir tolerated the inconveniences caused by Duryodhan, and then we tolerate ignorant people also. Like sometimes, this time only I was going to Jabalpur, I saw one of the station, I was sitting upside, I was to go out, and then I came down there, didn't find my chappal anywhere. My slipper was not there. I searched here, two compartment ahead, two compartment behind, it was not there. Finally, one man came wearing my chappal. I think that this is mine, I thought. Then he told that, मुझे जाना था, मैं पहन के चला गया. So, actually people are ignorant. So, we have to tolerate those situations. And then problems are unexplainable. Bhima was poisoned by Duryodhan. Then Vidura told, actually, we can't, whom to complain? They will be complaining to whom? Dhritarashtra, whom? So they just tolerated those situations. This is a lesson from Mahabharata. And many different urges of our senses, mind, laws of nature, child has to tolerate. हर बच्चा सपना देखता है मैं बड़ा होने के बाद ये करूंगा वो करूंगा, पर immediately वो नहीं बड़ा हो सकता. He has to tolerate the time. When time will come, that time separation is there, laws of nature. And then people tolerate by fear of strength. इतना बड़ा है, powerful है, so how can I do anything to him? So the people tolerate the unexplainable problems. Fire smoke analogy is there, as Krishna says, whenever we lit a fire, there will be smoke. So within the Sangha of the devotees, anger will be there, intolerance will be there. We have to sometimes tolerate and beyond. And then next in 5.23 also Krishna says, if someone asks, when to tolerate, when is the landmark, कब तक tolerate करना, time limit क्या है उसका? Krishna says, नहीं, we have to tolerate till death. Till death. Here, Shaknoti ya shodhum prak sharira vimokshanat kam krodh bhavam vegam sa yukta sa sukhim nara. He says, before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of material senses and check the forces of desire and anger, then he will be happy. Means, urges will be there till the last moment. So, we have to tolerate this. Then we will moving on to some examples, the situations where the tolerance are tested. These are the famous words, Tiraskrita Vipralabdha. So Shivas Thakur was defamed, Pandavas were cheated, Maharaj Parikshit was cursed, and Avanti Brahman was neglected by the whole society. Jesus was crucified. So they all, with very high degree of mindset for spiritual advancement, they tolerated it as accepting as the Krishna's mercy. And then why to cultivate tolerance? You will see this topic from the scriptural eyes. Why to cultivate tolerance? Firstly, it is a quality of the Brahmana. Prabhupada created ISKCON. One of the times he was asked, why you are going on this? He was asked, I have to create a society of Brahmana. So Brahmans, one of the quality in 18.52, it is said, peacefulness, shamo damas tapa shaucham shantir arjavam evacha. So it is told the tolerance is one of the basic and principal quality of the Brahmana. So we have to tolerate. And then one can conquer desires and avarice. Lots and lots of desires comes in our mind. Avarices are there. But Krishna says we have to tolerate. And these desires, it's not that there will be coming and there will full stop to the desires. Desires will be coming like waves. In 2.70 it is told that this Apuryamanam Shloka Achal Patishtam, it is told not the man, it is told, the rivers, desires will be flowing like a rivers in the ocean. We have to tolerate those situations. Then favorable example, favorable for practicing bhakti, devotional, this tolerance quality is actually favorable for practicing devotional service. Maharaj Parikshit also took that curse to more deeply associate with Krishna. And he just immediately, he didn't acted and he didn't retaliate to that boy. So, and he can tell, realization of the nature of this material world. Actually, we have to realize that this is stamp mark of Krishna, Dukhalem Ashaswatam. So Krishna in this shloka has told. So these situations will be always there. So these are some reasons to tolerate. And actually it is an ornament of Vaishnava. In this 3.25.21, here it is said, Tiraskita Titakshva Karunika Surida Sarvadehinam Ajat Shatrava Santu Sadhva Sadhu Bhushana. Tolerance is one of the ornament of Vaishnava. If we will not wear this ornament, then we will be landing up to one of the ornament which is described by Bhakti Vinod Thakur in this song. In this Amara Jivan Sadapa Perati, he says, Ashesha Kama Hirdi Maji Mora Krodhi Damba Parayana Madmata Sada Vishayi Mahite Himsa Garva Vibhushana. So he says there, we all living entities are wearing the ornament of what? Envy, illusion, anger. We are all carrying this illusion and we are very happy in this. So we are actually wearing this ornament. But instead we have to cultivate this tolerance ornament, and finally Lord becomes happy. Lord was pleased with Haridas Thakur. He was pleading to the Lord that please forgive these who are beating me. So finally I will be giving some of the tips to how to tolerate. Actually I have learned from many. So these, as I have learned, these tips are tolerating criticism. It is one of the formulas, ICS formula. Improve, then careful in our behavior, improve our attitude, careful in our behavior, and finally take shelter of Hari Guru Vaishnava. Improve in our attitude. One of the times what happened, Abraham Lincoln, when he was to be given the presidential speech, he was just going on the stage. One of the senator criticized him. He said that your father once washed my shoes, he cleared my shoes. And that was the most embarrassing situation. He was to give the presidential speech to all lakhs of audience. And he just said that, oh, sorry, if any, my father has also teached to me also. So if any problem is there, if it is not repaired, please tell, I will also repair that. So he didn't took any kind of angry mood. He improved his attitude towards the situation. And one of the next example is of Srila Prabhupada was once asked, are you the guru of Allen Ginsberg? Now this is a very interesting question. If he says no, then also means Allen Ginsberg was in that audience only when it was asked. It is said in this diary to Jagannath Puri by Mukund. So he told that I am no one's guru. I am servant of all. Then after a pause he says, actually I am not even a servant. I am just trying to be a servant. So this is his reaction to the provoking situation. We can learn from our acharyas this reaction. And finally, we have to take shelter of Hari Guru Vaishnava. Tolerating formula, then next is FNC formula. Then this is focusing on strength. Prabhupada focused on strength of many of the devotees, neglecting their weaknesses, cultivating appreciation. Then last, this is very famous shloka, levels of tolerance. This is 2.14 Matra Sparsastu, where Krishna says we have to tolerate. Why? Because these are non-permanent. Then Tatya Anukampam Susumikshmano, here Krishna says we have to tolerate. Why? Because we have to think that it is the Lord's mercy, and we have to transcend these miseries by increasing our absorption in Lord. Then in Bhute Rakramanyopi, this is the level of sequence of the shlokas. And then here it is says this is the 11.737. Here Krishna glorifies Mother Earth. And then this shloka is there. And finally Kunti Maharani prays Vipada Shantuta Shaswa. This is the highest level of tolerance, wanting more and more dangers in our life. Then we will be moving on to anger topic. These are some of the examples in scriptures also. Mrigari, first he was not killing animals, then Parikshit didn't cursed back. These are various examples. Jesus was crucified and still he excused the crucifiers. Prahlad Maharaj praying for liberation of father. And finally, this one also. Once Prabhupada was asked that how I can control my anger. Prabhupada said, remember Lord Narasimha. No one can be more angry than Lord Narasimha. So Ambarish Maharaj gave up all his past credits to let save Durvas Muni. Glance in Srila Prabhupada's life, so he tolerated traveling with a dog in car in Juhu, one of the life member. And then he tolerated man accusing me in his past life karma. One man was accusing continuously. He tolerated that situation. Then he put his food in the same fridge where the meat was kept. Then next, he didn't tolerate it. Some situations are there where we don't have to tolerate. We have to act. Mr. Naya's fraud case, he didn't tolerate it. He acted very firmly. Then price cheated of the $5,000. He also clarified it. Then impersonalism. He was very strong at impersonalism. Anger is defined as strong feeling of displeasure or aggressive hospitality. Once in Mumbai, one case came that a sub-inspector was killed by one of the commander only. So reason was he was after both many cases, he was find that his father used to tell that many officers are corrupt, and he suspected that he's one of the scene he saw and he killed him. He suspected he might have also be corrupt. Who killed him? So anger arises in many of these situations. These are one of the definitions. Then quotes of anger. Prabhupada in NOI first verse quotes that frustration of material desires produces anger. This is one of the major we can see in our day-to-day life also. Frustration of our material desires produces anger. These are various definitions of anger, but one of the major definition is anger is nothing short than one letter short of danger. Whenever you are getting angry, you have to think what? Danger is very near. So we can actually, there are some consequences of anger, physiological consequences, emotional, mental. These are all consequences which we face in our daily life also. The next is causes of anger. First, what is the cause? Brahma is only actually not, it is said, one Brahma, his 4 sons, Chatushkumar, denied to propagate new children. From his forehead, Rudra came, personification of anger, and that is the original cause. And this is given in 3rd canto. In 4th canto, it is said one of the Brahma's son is irreligion, and from irreligion, then falsity, then Dambha, Maya, greed, Nikriti, and Krodha, and it all lands up in last one was Yatna, Niraya, hell. So actually, from this what we derive, one who starts irreligion, once irreligion is there, finally will be landing up in hell. And anger is just one of the station in between. So we have to understand that. And where Lord Brahma gave places to reside for Rudra, these some of the places are there, and we have to see most important places. First word only, Hridaya Indriyani Asur Vyoma. So first, anger is residing in heart. So that is, and heart, and then the senses. When the anger arises in heart, then senses get active, and then air of the life gets starting Then sky, lightning is there, and various of the earth resources, the anger is there. Then dynamics of anger, enjoyment attitude comes whenever I want this, but I didn't get why. So enjoyment attitude, frustrated attitude, egocentric attitude. When these all attitude will be there in our life, this anger will be there. One of the, how to control this anger? Control expectations. Whenever our expectation increases, anger arises. These are some of the 4 tips. Recognize, repent, we can resist, we can realize. Various examples are also there. This is a famous example. Daksha, he repented to Lord Shiva. Although he was very angry in first case, but he repented to Lord Shiva. He was telling what? He was telling that, I'm sorry, actually I didn't recognize your power. And then Jagai Madai also repented to Lord Nityananda, creating the banks in the river. They did very nice service also there. Then how to control anger? So ABCD of anger management is there: physical, mental, intellectual, spiritual. But most of them is, most important is spiritual. We have to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, discriminate reality from illusion. And this is, so from the Bhagavatam, one of the case study is there, spiritual case study of Daksha. This Daksha and Sati will be explained by him.
हरे कृष्ण। सबकी आशीर्वाद प्रार्थना करके, स्पेशली इस ग्रेस राधे श्याम प्रभु और सुंदर श्याम प्रभु और अंतर्दीप प्रभु, कुछ जब जो दक्ष थे, जो ब्रह्मा जी के स्वयं पुत्र थे और इतने प्रजापतियों के अध्यक्ष थे, फिर भी वो इतना महान होने के लिए होते हुए भी इतना शिव जी के प्रति इतना क्रोध से ऐसा बोले, क्योंकि वो बहुत सकाम कर्मी थे और जो गृहस्थ सुख में, जो मैथुन सुख में वो बहुत रुचि लेते थे। इसलिए वो मतलब शुद्ध भक्ति में नहीं थे, इसलिए वो शिव जी के प्रति ना जानते हुए वो ऐसे व्यवहार किए उनको। और जब एक बार ऐसे 4थे स्कंद में ऐसे कथा आती है कि जब एक यज्ञ हो रहा था, जब सारे प्रजापति और ब्रह्मा जी और शिव जी आए थे, तब जब प्रजापति आए तो सब खड़े हो गए, लेकिन शिव जी नहीं खड़े हुए। ब्रह्मा जी तो अपने पिता थे, कुछ नहीं, लेकिन जब दक्ष ने देखा कि शिव जी खड़े नहीं हुए तो उनको बहुत क्रोध आया, बहुत नहीं बहुत ज्यादा क्रोध आया। तो लेकिन जब इस केस में देखा जाए तो वो सोचना चाहिए था दक्ष को कि या फिर बाद में उसको पूछना चाहिए था ब्रह्मा जी को कि शिव जी क्यों नहीं खड़े हुए। उस केस में डायरेक्टली वो शिव जी के ऊपर क्रोध कर गए और उसके बाद शिव जी ने कुछ भी आंसर नहीं दिया, क्योंकि वो हमेशा भगवान की ध्यान में रहते हैं और भगवान के शुद्ध भक्त हैं, वैष्णवानाम जथा शंभु, तो इसलिए वो उनको क्रोध नहीं आया क्योंकि भगवान के स्मरण में थे। लेकिन दक्ष को क्यों क्रोध आया? क्योंकि वो गर्व से और अभिमान से बहुत चूर थे और भौतिक सुखों में रुचि लेते थे। और उसके बाद शिव जी को श्राप दिया और उसके बाद नंदी और सभी भृगु ऐसे मुनियों में सब श्राप देने लगे। और उसके बाद सती जी ने का भी मतलब वहां पे वो अग्नि में समा गई। और उसके बाद एक्चुअली ये जो देखा जाए ना, ये जो क्रोध को कैसे कंट्रोलिंग करना है या फिर टॉलरेंस को कैसे बढ़ाना है, तो ये सब एक्चुअली धीरे धीरे होता है जब हम कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस में बहुत ज्यादा धीरे धीरे करने लगते हैं, और तब ये सब चीज होता है। और उसके बाद और एक चीज है कि शिव जी जब उनका सर कट, जब शिव जी ने, उसके बाद शिव जी को पता चला तो उसके बाद शिव जी ने एक वीरभद्र को भेजा और उसके बाद वीरभद्र ने उनको ये दक्ष जी का सर काट दिया। उसके बाद उनको ब्रह्मा जी के कहने पर शिव जी आए और उसके बाद ये बकरी का सर लगा दिया। उसके बाद उनको समझ में आया कि मैंने बहुत बड़ा गलती किया है, उसके बाद उनको शिव जी से क्षमा करने लगे और उनका क्रोध भी थोड़ा कम हो गया। और प्रभुपाद जी भी कहते हैं कि द मोर यू इंक्रीज योर कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, द मोर दिस थिंग्स सच एज लास्ट, एंगर एंड ग्रीड विल ऑटोमेटिकली डिक्रीज। तो जितना हम कृष्ण भावनामृत रहेंगे और उतना ही ये सब चीजों में हम आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। और एक श्लोक में, और भगवान की जितना हम भगवान के रूप का और भगवान की गुणों का व्याख्यान करेंगे, तो ऐसे एक श्लोक है जैसे कि तस्मात् सर्वातम राजन हरि सर्वत्र सर्वदा तत्व्यकृतितव्यश्च स्मर्तव्यो भगवान नडाम। तो भगवान की जितना हम ग्लोरीफाई करेंगे उतना ही इन सब चीजों पे विजय प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। अन्यथा ऐसा कोई एक दिन में एक मतलब एक सेशन सुन के होने वाला नहीं है।
So
हरे कृष्ण।
there is very nice activity time. Actually there is a one Shuddha Bhakt Pro. Now we are, जैसे प्रभु जी बोले एक सेशन सुन के होने वाला नहीं है. So actually I will be asking one Shuddha Bhakt Pro once with a huge luggage he was going to train after the sadhu camp. He went to train with auto, and auto wala he was asking more money than previously decided, है ना, because he told luggage बहुत सामान ज्यादा था, इतना घुमा के लाया, तो अभी ज्यादा he was asking more money, so he was refusing to give. Now my question is to all of you, so he should act tolerant, he should save Krishna's Lakshmi, or he should react in those situations. So here auto driver is yelling at Shuddha Bhakt Prabhu, and he is asking to you for counseling. So any one of you can quickly answer, any one devotee can quickly answer. उनसे ज्यादा पैसा मांग रहे हैं, तो अभी उनको क्या करना चाहिए? पैसा कृष्ण का लक्ष्मी बचाना चाहिए कि he should, है ना, what he should act in that level? And he is yelling, he is creating a very danger scene over there, all have gathered. अब क्या करें? Any one of you? Yes, please answer. But Krishna's Lakshmi. Yeah, so they very nice. So these are many such small provoking situations are in their life, but by remembering Krishna, by acting intelligently, we solve those situations. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Cultivating tolerance and controlling anger in sadhaka's life. Okay. So I have written, read the first point until you go through.
You're very confident and your voice is powerful. You have a good sense of humor and interesting quotes of great personalities as well as Shastric quotes. You can hold people's attention with nicely prepared people. Interesting acronym and formulas.
You spoke with devotion and sincerity when in a short time.
So these are all the plus points I felt in my observation. So some devotees have that special gift of preparing very nice PPTs. They must have probably learned in the college days. Some of our devotees are extraordinary PPT presenters. Last time also we observed nice pictures, and because the pictures make a lot of meaning actually. Some of the pictures are, through pictures you can convey many things. Sometimes you can just put one picture and convey a very profound message. If you see in the WhatsApp also, they send just one picture with one word or one line, and it really makes people think. So that was nice. Quotes were all nice also, yeah.
First question asked, how many of you get angry sharing? May be considered as insulting to audience by some people.
Yeah, correct. And middle also you asked one more question, very similar question. What was it? Situation and people also you asked, yeah. So one important point we should take note. previous session. Yeah. See, we may not be aware of this. Even I learnt it after many years. In one of the seminars, we were told that whenever you have to speak something that makes people feel bad, we can use the word we. And whenever appreciation has to be spoken, we can use the word you, the audience. Then, because when you say we, in Kali Yuga, we are not very humble, we become arrogant, we become sometimes, if you say like that, or even some people even say I. But in case you say, if you say for example, we all get angry in some situation or the other, isn't it? If you ask, then people may not mind saying yes. But if you say, who all in this audience became angry in some situation, tell me, then they may feel little uneasy to raise the hand, because it makes them feel bad. Right? No? Nobody likes to feel bad. So, or you can ask the same question by saying that, how many of you have observed somebody becoming angry at some time or other? How many of you have seen? Some people becoming angry sometimes. That somebody may include them also, no problem. So, how many of you feel this question is less threatening, you feel? Correct, no? Yeah. How many of you became angry in some situation, if you ask, how many of you feel it's more threatening? Some are afraid to raise hand also. They are so threatened. Correct, no? So, it's better not to ask questions. Actually, we can bring self-deprecating jokes. Self-deprecating jokes means neither should we ask questions which make people feel pained, nor should we joke about people, but we can joke about ourselves. Like for example, how I was fooled in some occasion. Like once I was telling, I was going in the market, some fellows called me and they sold me for 800 rupees cheap goods. They cheated me. Or once an ant bit me in my thighs. And I'm a president, an ant is super president. As I was telling. So, this is called self-deprecating jokes. People don't mind. Actually, at your cost, they may have a good laughter. That people say, such a wonderful example Prabhuji gave. And Radha Gopinath Prabhu can give hundreds of such examples. There's a lot of realization, observation. So, that is, so we can avoid such questions. Read further.
Your examples and quotes on tolerance is good. At the same time, it would be helpful to know how to become tolerant. Some practical tips to cultivate tolerance would be helpful.
Because the subject is what? What is your main theme? Cultivating tolerance and so then many of the people in the audience may want to know, okay, your examples are good, who did what you have said already. Many examples you gave in Shastra, many Shastric examples, real life examples. After giving all that, okay, he became, these fellows were tolerant, these fellows were not tolerant. This fellow controlled anger, he didn't control anger. Okay, after that what do people want to know? How do we cultivate tolerance in our life? How do we control anger? They will expect, because the whole topic itself says that cultivating. So, I feel we could have, did you have enough information for that? That slide also was talking about what are the, really? You talked about that? What did it show me? Whether it is a solution or it is a list of problems or it's a solution. That could be more elaborate. And then next one.
Examples given for urges of senses should be in line with Shastras.
Yeah. Actually, when you are putting the point on the slide and when you are giving examples, the examples are going haywire. Can you tell me what example you gave for the urges of the senses? You don't remember, no? No? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, one of the points. Yeah. What did you say for that? Some two examples you gave. Urges of the senses and you can see that slide?
That slide I Arjans of mind, one of the urges I have written that Prajalpa is one of the urge to do and all.
You said two examples there. You said. Anybody remembers what he said for the urges of? Actually, probably you gave some day-to-day observation. You gave something. You don't remember, no? You go back in the recording, you will get it and check it. Later on, you check it. Actually, sometimes we release examples which don't exactly match with the item being spoken. See, when you talk about urges of senses, Vacha Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Budara Vegam, Vasa Vegam, Dali says. So, Prabhu Goswami explains these things. So, something, whenever you explain anything, you may have to be a little more attentive on what you are speaking. Example. Some example is just coming out of your mouth very loosely, going elsewhere, without much. That's my observation I am telling you. If you want, you can go back to the recording again. So it has to be in line with Shastras. And, yeah?
Too many slides and enormous content of both seminar and slides. Audience may not be able to hold so much information. Could stick to a few headings.
Yeah. Actually, in one slide also, if you put too much information, people get overloaded. There has to be less information in one slide. And also the seminar is very exhaustive seminar it is. Actually, the seminar could be made brief, point-wise, and then people can easily capture it, take a snapshot of the whole seminar and keep it. For example, what is tolerance? And examples of tolerance, Shastric stories of tolerance, practical stories of tolerance. And then you can say that, when do we become intolerant? And when should we be tolerant? When should we be intolerant? There are situations where you should be tolerant. There are other situations you should not be tolerant. Then you can also say how to be tolerant. And what is the fruit of tolerance? Like that, if you put it under some headings, generally human mind has the ability to remember things in an organized way, if you put it. So if you say, today I will tell you all about 5 points on tolerance. You can say, what is the meaning of tolerance? And when should we tolerate? When should we not tolerate? How to tolerate? How to cultivate tolerance. So like that you say a few headings and then each of it, examples of tolerance, stories. So people will remember that a little more easily. You also did that in some other slides, but the notes became a little more exhaustive, I felt. You have plenty of nice things to say, to share, but the overall thing becomes too exhaustive. Yeah?
Some spiritual droplets should be added by dwelling on some pastime, where you can show the tolerance of a devotee a bit elaborately.
Actually, many great speakers say that in our talk generally there has to be 4 components, like entertain, inform, touch the emotion, call for action. 4 things. Entertain doesn't necessarily mean you have to speak a humor. It could be a statistics also. It could be some new piece of information. It could be a rhetoric question also when you begin. And that is meant for creating hunger in the audience for the topic. If you heard me what I spoke the previous talk, in the beginning anybody remembers what I spoke? The first thing I spoke as soon as I began my talk on the topic of loving relationship, yeah? You remember that? This was, there are love novels, love movies, love stories, and so many people are talking about love, but still people are thirsty for genuine love and they are unable to experience it. Is there a way we can access genuine love? That's the question I asked in the beginning. So that creates a hunger in the audience. Okay, what he's saying is true. There are love novels, love stories, everything. How to get love? So Prabhuji is going to say today about how to experience loving relationship. So it sets the scene for the topic to be taken ahead. So that is the first part, and open. And then second part is inform, means then you give these 3-4 points. what is tolerance, when to tolerate, when not to tolerate, how to tolerate, all that you give. That is information. And touching the emotion is very important. Like I told some touching stories. Anybody remembers in the previous talk? Which of the story you heard from me, some things were touching your heart? In my speech, which I gave, 20-minute speech. Yeah, of course there are stories, but the touching story is our Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu coming to the home of Advaitacharya, exchanging love between the two. Another one is Sitaram and Hanuman. Correct, no? So those I elaborated more. You remember that? So there are touching stories and people will not forget them. For life they will remember. Some story is very touching to their heart. So that is important also. And and that's what I have written here. Some spiritual droplets should be added by dwelling, because we are a spiritual movement. Actually there is a lot to do with feeling, because bhakti involves emotion also. The topic of tolerance or anything you speak, the speaker should also be able to permeate the heart of the audience with the need for tolerance, with why we have to tolerate. There are many people who think, I generally don't tolerate, I cannot tolerate. So the need for tolerance, these things will be done when you speak about spiritual pastime, something where you highlight the tolerance of some great personality in a very powerful way, effective way. Then, therefore I have written the word dwelling. Dwelling means your lecture, if it is so fast, it becomes more information. It is very informative, but it is not transformative. For it to be transformative, it should transform the heart, then the message has to dwell in the heart of people. And there has to be some spiritual droplet should be there. Like you might have heard, there is one as Prabodhana Saraswati Maharaj. He speaks from the heart, it has an impact. Gurujan Prabhu, it has a tremendous impact on that. Because they carry spiritual saffron particles from Krishna's lotus feet. So when they get it from the top and hand it over to us, it has a very, very great potency. So now how do we give it? So therefore we have to also, when we are presenting our lectures, at least there should be one or two part of the lectures which has really touched your heart. See, anything that has touched your heart, you speak, it touches the people's hearts also. It has an effect. Yeah?
Words could be spoken with care, otherwise for audience it can cause misunderstanding.
I didn't note down what was it, but there were 3-4 places where, like you were saying, Mrigari was not killing or something like that you were saying. Actually, it is the later part of Mrigari, correct, no? After he reformed. You can say that Mrigari was half killing animals, isn't it? But after taking shelter of Narada and becoming a devotee, he could not tolerate even bowing down over the ants also. So how tolerant he became. Either you can say, when you put Mrigari and bracket you put was not killing, people wonder, Mrigari was such a great killer, you think he was not killing?
Actually, I was telling there's levels of tolerance. Means Mrigari was on that level, not killing, tolerant or not killing animals. Then moved ahead of that finally I raised to Ambarish Maharaj, who gave up all.
That is correct, example is correct. So you say that Mrigari's stature is that he evolved up to the point of, earlier he was half killing, now he stopped killing and even stopped causing suffering even to an ant. Correct? And then higher example, somebody like Parikshit, for example, somebody cursed him, he didn't curse back. That's even more greater. Because Mrigari was not cursed by anybody, but if he was cursed and he didn't curse back, it's more greater. So like that also you can say, it's more greater, more greater. Ambarish showed the greatest tolerance. That's all right. The way you explain, that's what I have put here. Okay, now. Yeah.
Had to catch up with fastly moving slides due to less time left. The first
The
speaker
poor
should
fellow, he
allow
was trying to explain that
enough time for
Veerabhadra or somebody, who was that? He was killing. By the time Veerabhadra had gone already. Veerabhadra appeared and went away. Into 3 slides before only he left. Yeah. Yes.
the first speaker should allow enough time for second speaker.
The first speaker should be merciful on the second speaker. And first speaker should tolerate the limited time allotted to him. 10 minutes or so, correct? No? Yeah. And then I wrote this. 2 speakers are given chance, so both could get approximately enough time for them to be evaluated, right? No? Otherwise, only one will be evaluated. Other one will not get chance to be evaluated. Yeah. So, in tolerance, the kind of information he gave was very wonderful. Actually, we can take this slideshow and sit with it and slowly meditate on every slide. So many examples are there, quotes are there. It's like an encyclopedia I was selling. Comprehensive, very, exhaustive. Very nice. But when it comes to any audience you are speaking, see, there are very few people in the audience who will appreciate enormous information. Because people are looking for some real life tools where you actually touch the heart of the subject, tolerance. Again, I will speak a few minutes, you can see how I cover this topic. What is the topic?
Cultivating tolerance and controlling anger.
Cultivating tolerance and
Controlling anger
controlling anger
in sadhaka's life.
in
Sadhaka's life.
sadhaka's life. Om ajnanatirandasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshushuvanmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Dear friends, in our everyday life, we all encounter situations where we are forced to tolerate people, tolerate situations, tolerate circumstances. Like sometimes you are driving a car, somebody cuts the signal and, passes ahead of you from the left side. You know that it is wrong, but people do that. And sometimes people insult you without knowing the full picture. And after knowing the full picture, they say sorry to you. In the meantime, you went through a raging emotion in your heart. Why this person didn't understand me fully? Before that, he was blurting out so many dirty words at me. So, even in normal life, people are forced to face situations like this. But in our sadhaka's life, sadhaka means we are devotees. As devotees also, we are forced to tolerate various situations. For example, one day the prasadam got over, or there was only rice and dal. We have to tolerate, isn't it? Or sometimes you were waiting for your friend, he was getting late, and then both of you missed the train. You could have gone earlier. So you feel that you become angry on some people, but you have to tolerate. And if you don't tolerate, then it may become offensive when you speak something inappropriate. So this is a very important topic for devotees. It's like a double-edged sword. If you too much tolerate, then you are at a loss. And if you don't tolerate, you may commit offenses. And because of that, we may suffer the consequences. Therefore, this topic of tolerance becomes very important. Srila Prabhupada says in Krishna book, the greatness of an individual has to be estimated by tolerating provoking situations. And he quotes the example of Bhrigu going to the 3 gods. He went to Brahma, and he committed a mental offense. And he went to Shiva and committed a verbal offense. And he went to Vishnu and committed a physical offense. So, Brahma became angry and restrained his anger. Shiva became angry and chased after Bhrigu. Vishnu, even after being kicked, how he behaved is something very important for all of us to contemplate on. When Bhrigu kicked Vishnu on the chest, at that time, Lord Vishnu got off from the snake bed, fell at the feet of Bhrigu and massaged his feet and said, "My dear great sage, my heart is hard like a stone and your feet may be probably hurt. Let me massage your feet. And besides that, because Lakshmi resides in my heart, by the touch of the dust of your feet, I feel she must be very happy." So, Bhrigu Muni had tears in his eyes when he heard this speech of Vishnu. Then he went back to all the rishis and said, "No one else has exhibited such a high degree of tolerance in this world except Lord Vishnu. So he is the supreme." So, being Vishnu's devotees, we are also expected to cultivate tolerance, following in the footsteps of our master. Because in the pastime of Vishnu and the Jaya Vijay and Kumaras, it is said that the Kumaras told Jaya Vijay that you are Bhagavat Pratikulya Shilau, they said. Not Anukulya Shilau. Opposite of that is Pratikulya Shilau, which means you are not acting like your Swami, they said. Your Swami Vishnu is very tolerant. Look at you, you are not tolerant. Which means from that pastime we all learned that people expect that we also should behave tolerantly like Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. You can see Krishna tolerated 99 offenses of whom? Shishupal. How tolerant he is. So, therefore people expect that your Lord is so tolerant, so you should be tolerant also. Now when we say tolerance, it has two aspects. One is we have to tolerate lust as Haridas Thakur tolerated, and he could deliver that prostitute. Even as sadhakas, in our life also, we are all living in the city, in the heart of the city, and we are meeting so many people. And in modern days, people are not very cultured, so people are very scantily dressed. People are very frivolous in talking. People are overly friendly. So, surrounded by such a fire-like environment, we all have to be very tolerant of the inner enemy, the greatest enemy, as Krishna says, all-devouring sinful enemy, which is lust. So we should be able to restrain our lust, and we have to actually transform our lust into love, without which the lust can become a very great enemy and make us fall down. Another type of tolerance is from the external stimuli, like say for example, there is one particular word in English called forbearing. Like not only we have to tolerate lust, we have to tolerate situations in which we are put by certain people. Tolerating anger. For example, Ambarish Maharaj was put in a great situation where Durvasa Muni behaved in such a way, in order to kill him, he created a very big demon. Now, compare the behavior of Durvasa Muni and compare it with the behavior of Ambarish. Durvasa Muni became extremely angry for a small reason. It's called disproportionate anger. Disproportionate means for this much small problem, your anger is so big. So here is one lesson we learn from Durvasa Muni, that our anger should be proportionate. If somebody did this mistake, you can feel this much anger. Somebody did this much mistake, then you may become this much angry. But disproportionate anger can make us foolish, as Durvasa Muni became foolish for a moment. And in fact, anger is called momentary madness. Momentary madness means in that moment what we are doing, what we are saying, we do not even know. And therefore, he created a ghastly future for himself. Durvasa Muni, he was about to be killed by the Sudarshan Chakra. But then you will find, after moving around all over the universe, when he came back, this is the most amazing thing in this pastime. When he returned back, what do you think Ambarish said? Did Ambarish say that, very good, you really had to pay the price for what you did with me. See, you created a demon to kill me, and now you were chased by the Sudarshan Chakra. And none of the gods could save you, including Lord Vishnu. Now that you are falling at my feet, I'll kick on your face. Did he say that? He didn't want to do such a thing. Rather, Ambarish actually felt that he offended Durvasa Muni. That was his feeling. He felt that. Maybe I should not have drank that water. Sage got offended. In fact, for that one full year, he was waiting for him to come and eat. Seeing Ambarish's tolerance and greatness, he told one famous verse. I would request all of you to repeat after me. Aho ananta dasanam mahatam drishtamadhyame kridagasopi yad rajan mangalani samihase. So this is spoken by Durvasa. Aho ananta dasanam, the Lord's devotees. What can I say about their greatness? He is saying. Mahatam, their greatness. Drishtam, I saw. When? Adyame, Aj. Today I have seen their greatness with my own eyes. What is the meaning of a Lord's devotee? See the tolerance of Ambarish. And what is the tolerance he is talking? I made a plan to kill him and he made a plan to save me. This is the difference between me and him. Like that, who is saying? Durvasa is saying. That means Durvasa had a heart transformation. While going to Siddhaloka, flying in the Akash Marg, he was actually glorifying Ambarish all the way. And then he went to Siddhaloka and told all the Siddhas about the glory of Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj, by his tolerance, touched the heart of even such a angry sage like Durvasa. You can see that. So now we all wonder, Ambarish was so tolerant, he had an oceanic tolerance. Our Parikshit had such tolerance, he didn't curse back. Generally, if somebody punches on my nose, I'll punch back. But how is it that Parikshit never retaliated back? Ambarish never retaliated back. Prahlad never retaliated back. How could they do that? And why am I not able to do that? And so therefore it is also important for us as sadhakas in our lives also. We should at least make a beginning, small baby steps in cultivating tolerance. So how do we cultivate tolerance in our lives? One thing becomes very clear, that Rajoguna produces anger and that anger ends in Tamaguna. Because Rajoguna produces anger, when the anger increases excessively, it leads to Tamaguna, creating destruction. For example, say I have a friend, nice friend in the ashram. One day he said or did something unpleasant and I became angry with him. So I became angry. I scolded him, he scolded me. Now we decided to break our relationship. What guna it is? Tamaguna. Tamaguna means destroy. Correct, no? Similarly, there are two people going to the same project and they are preaching. And then there is a tussle between the authority and the subordinate. Senior devotee feels that the junior is not cooperating. And the junior feels that he never gives me chance to give classes. He only wants to give all the classes. He always wants me to sit and hear with the boys. So he feels offended. The senior feels that, he has to get trained by me. And they both have a tussle. And finally, when you want to, both of them say, Prabhuji, remove this senior and give me another. As junior is saying. And senior says, remove this junior and give me another. Isn't it? And sometimes both of them speak so ill of each other to the boys, when the whole project closes down. So what is that? Tamaguna, destroying a project, destroying the relationship. So in this way, not able to tolerate these provoking situations of that happen in relationship between devotees. So we have destroyed projects, we have destroyed people, destroyed relationships. So therefore one has to think, then how do we begin? So Rajoguna, Tamaguna is causing anger and destruction. So what do we do? Rise to Sattva-guna. So to cultivate Sattva-guna. Because in Sattva-guna, if there are two people have a quarrel, what would they do? Some devotee may come and say, Prabhu, I beg to differ from you in this particular opinion. Or the devotee may say, Prabhu, when you have given so many classes, I also want to request you, if I can also give 1 or 2 classes, I'll be thankful to you. And he says, okay, weekly once I'll give you 1 class. Okay, Prabhu, now I'll give 1, maybe next semester if you allow me, I'll give 2. Okay. So within each other there can be such understanding. Correct, no? Rather than, you are not giving me class, I am going out, I'll go to another place. I will be my own king in my own new project. I'll start on my own. So, therefore, Sattva-guna actually means even if two people have difference in opinion, even if two people have a quarrel, what will happen? Sattva-guna person will immediately say sorry, he'll offer obeisances and say vancha kalpatarubhyascha. He will actually fear aparad, but arrogance, harshness, and some insulting others, all these things. So Krishna says, Dambo, Darpo, Abhimanascha, Krodha, Parukshamevacha. Ajnanam cha abhijatasya. Partha sampadam asurim. These are all asuri sampada. Pride, conceit, harshness, anger, rudeness, all that he says. These are all. So we have to know these are asuri sampad. Asuri sampad leads to intolerance and anger. So Daivi sampad is just the opposite. Daivi sampad vimokshaya. Nibandhaya asuri mata. Krishna says that. The divine assets will liberate us. So we have to cultivate tolerance for our own spiritual good. In the name of succeeding in projects, sometimes two devotees compete with each other. In the course of competing, somebody may get a job done, but by breaking the tooth of a few devotees. Prabhuji, success, we have achieved success. Only thing is all the fellows are catching their mouth. The tooth are gone. Tooth are broken. So, in the same manner, sometimes a department may succeed in doing something, but at the same time hurting the devotees very insensitively. So, because how many of you agree, every department faces crisis? Do you agree? And how many of you do agree that in crisis situations, our bad qualities come out? Do you agree? Yeah. So, this becomes clear that we are subject to crisis, and crisis is something which is not regular, which is occasional. So, crisis is occasional, which means just like an electronic wave, there's a spike, like that. So, whenever that spike comes, that is where our tolerance is broken, and that is where we become angry. So, crises are occasional, and in those occasional moments we lose tolerance. So, one of the things we can do is we can anticipate crisis. And we can also have pre-planned method of deciding on how will I act in crisis. Because sometimes if you face a few crises in your department, you have an idea on when do the crises generally come. And so one has to cultivate mode of goodness. That's one thing we said, which you can do. And one can actually have systems and policies in place so that unnecessary crisis will not be created. Generally crisis is created when system is not in order. When the crisis is created. So you can try to avoid crisis, but even despite avoiding, it will happen. That's the meaning of material world. And also how to behave in crisis when crisis situations come. So one has to. Therefore, I was telling that one has to premeditate before one's behavior. For example, you are going to meet one devotee in your department with whom you are very upset. He has been doing 1, 2, 3, 4 wrong things. You are very unhappy. Today you want to blast him. Of course, you want to blow him off. So you want to call him. So that means right now you are going to face a strong situation. So now you can picturize it in your mind. So I am sitting. He will come and sit, and these are things I am going to say. How will he feel? How will he respond to me? And then what I should do back. So imagine he tells you, I am leaving your department and going to another department. Is it valuable for you? So it's a big loss for you. Correct, no? So you think about it. So therefore, how do you begin talking with him? Plus, minus, plus, isn't it? First you think about what are the good things he has done till now. That's what our Vishnu told Jai Vijay. You, Jai Vijay, you have served me millions of years so nicely. One small mistake you committed now with Kumaras. Why should you take it too seriously? Like meditating on the brighter side of a personality. Our anger towards the people whom we are angry with, we will be able to. So think about the bright side of the person. That's one solution. And that will calm down your anger. Another reason why you will tolerate is remembering the consequences. Imagine I overly blast a devotee in my department, he runs away to another department, then I lose a valuable manpower. Is it a good loss? Is it valuable for you? Then you have to take another person and train him for 5 years. You agree? So therefore, thinking about the consequences also helps us to be tolerant. Thinking about the good qualities helps us to be tolerant. Similarly, I told you, cultivating mode of goodness helps us to be tolerant also. And also experience teaches us tolerance. Admittance teaches us tolerance. Admittance means acceptance. Like if you are non-forgiving, if you are adamant, if you are brittle, you cannot be tolerant. But cultivating flexibility, adaptability, accommodating nature, we can be tolerant. So, therefore, how do you cultivate that accommodating, adaptable nature? Don't make snap decisions. Whenever you feel yourself brittle, stop making decisions. Consult 4-5 devotees. Prabhu, I am feeling very brittle. I want to cut this person off from my department. Then after you consult 4-5 people, they will tell you, Prabhuji, 5 years is working with you. If you cut him off, it will be a big loss. And therefore, don't make snap decisions. So these are few examples I told you how we can cultivate tolerance. Tolerance and anger are closely connected. Intolerance, impatience and anger, they are all very connected qualities. So, one time Gandhi asked a question. Somebody told Gandhi, somebody has written a bad news about you in the newspaper. Should we write a counter article? So Gandhi said, imagine I wear new shoes and the new shoes are biting me. Should I bite the shoes? He asked. Then what is the difference between that person and me? If he is behaving like this, if I also behave the same way, then how would I be different? So therefore we are all sadhakas, devotees. And how are we different from the outside people? Outside people have a very great notion about devotees. They think these are all Mahatma Purushas. They are all God's people. All of you, I'll ask you a simple question. In the marketplace, you become wild on somebody. When people look at you, look at the other shouting person. Both of you are shouting. People will misunderstand about whom more. Devotees. Why? What they will say? You are a sadhu. Sadhu means people, we say, Sant Hriday Navanita Samana, it is said. The heart of a sadhu is like a butter. People expect that sadhu should smile in difficult situations. That's what people expect. Because we know Shastras and we are doing sadhana. So people expect us to behave very maturely. So, understanding that we are representing Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and we are representing ISKCON. That is another reason why we should tolerate. We will tolerate. We will think that, if I don't behave well, Prabhupada's name will be spoiled. Is it not true in this situation? Let me save my Guru's position. Let me save Prabhupada's position. Let people not misunderstand. Correct, no? So we could say many things like this for cultivating tolerance. But it's a very important aspect of a devotee's life. And we can also talk about tolerance in terms of austerity. Tolerating the austerity. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyate tasmat brahmasokyam tvananta. You will see the austerities that we all practice. They have a burning sensation in the beginning, but then a cooling sensation at the end. Like imagine you have a wound in the finger. You put a tincture, what happens? In the beginning. But after some time, how do you feel? Very cooling. Correct, no? Very soothing. Similarly, a child is woken up in the morning by the mother. As soon as the child sees the mother, he starts. You've seen that? Then she takes him to the bathroom and bathes him with the lukewarm water and everything. And then when she dresses the child with everything, child is smiling. So even all of you will see, while getting up, you are a little lazy. But after you go to the Mangalarti and dance with devotees, you feel very nice. So the austerities are painful in the beginning, blissful at the end. Brahma Saukyam tu, they will give you Ananta Brahma Sauk. Whereas the material austerities will not give you Ananta Brahma Sauk. For example, somebody went from a beggar to a billionaire. People say, he was a beggar, now he became billionaire. But then billionaire will be billionaire how long? After 20-30 years, he will be gone. So that austerity is useless. Hiranyakashipu did austerity. What is the use of that austerity? How much he tolerated the biting of the ants and all kinds of creatures. But what is the use of that austerity? So therefore, tolerating, the fruit of tolerance is what? Explained in 2.15. What is that verse? 2.15. Yam hyena vyatayantyete purusham purusharshava samadukha sukham dhiram somritattvaya kalpate is saying. You will attain amritatvam. So which is better? In this world, if people are insulting you, leg pulling you, backbiting you, criticizing you, insulting you, to run after them and fight with them is good for you, or to tolerate it and focus on the Supreme Lord and attain Amritatvam, which is better? Attain Amritatvam. Amritatvam means immortality. You attain that. And if you don't want to attain that, you will get stuck in this world by not being tolerant. So Buddha was tolerant. You will find Gandhi was tolerant. Prabhupada was tolerant. We talked about Prabhupada also. All the great souls you will find, they have tolerated provoking situations. So if you want to become a great soul, we have to follow in their footsteps. So Prabhupada ki. I think I always speak about 23-24 minutes. So, okay, now in what I spoke, I'll ask you some questions. See, because I am directly speaking without any preparation, I could not organize my thoughts under headings. But still, I spoke examples which all were falling under some headings. Can you say which are the headings I spoke on? What is the beginning thing I spoke? I gave you some day-to-day examples on how we are forced to tolerate. Like you are going in a car, somebody takes from your left side. Somebody breaks signal and not only breaks signal, they cut on the left side and go, you are about to hit him because you never thought both sides cars are going. So you don't know whether to which side to go. So there are situations like this you face in your everyday life. People commit mistakes all around you. And some people commit mistake and don't even say sorry to you also. And some people create mistakes which can lead to life threats also, correct? People commit mistakes, yeah. So I began with a couple of examples to show that tolerance is a necessary quality even for karmis also, not only us. Otherwise we have seen people don't tolerate in the trains and buses how people become angry. Yesterday I was there in the train. I always get to see some nice scenes to learn. See, how did the thing begin? What did these two fellows? Two fellows had a big fight. Correct. I don't remember exactly what was the fight between them, but one of the fellows accused the other fellow for something, and then later on this fellow came to know that his accusation was wrong. And then therefore he told him sorry. But that person was not satisfied with sorry, because in the first place, why did you accuse me? I am Niraparadi, but you accused me. He said, मैं सारी बोल दिया ना मैं, Rajari was telling. सारी बाद में बोला, लेकिन पहले क्यों बोला? He was catching to that. Then this fellow told all people, देखिए आप सब सुना ना, मैं सारी बोला ना, और क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं? He was telling. Understand? They both, and it was going on and on and on. I was wondering, what is the need of extending so much? And you can see everywhere you see the situations in the world. Correct. Now I remember what was happening. See, this fellow was catching this bag, what do you call it? Carry bag kind of thing. And the mobile was protruding outside like this. A little bit half. So that fellow picked up the mobile like this. And this fellow started shouting, hey, mobile ko chori kar raha hai. Like that. And then that fellow gave it, hey, girne wala hai. Then he gave. Then all the people told him, hey, you are calling him a chore? Your mobile was about to fall from your from your purse or something like that. He is taking and giving you. And then he said sorry after that. So, but that fellow became very offended that he called him chore. Yeah, he couldn't take it. तुम चोर कैसे बोल सकते हो मुझे? मैं चोर जैसे दिख रहा हूँ क्या? मैं पढ़ा लिखा हूँ, मैं सब लोग देख रहे हैं, सबके हम खिचोरी करूँगा क्या ऐसे? He got very offended. Kaliyuga means age of. So I began with that, and then how many of you, any of you remember something in a very organized way? I developed it. After that, what is? I told the Bhrigu pastime, which is very relevant to this topic, which is actually a very heart-touching Shastric story also. What is most heart-touching in that pastime? Lord Vishnu's behavior, and how relevant it is to this theme of tolerance. It's relevant to the theme of tolerance, because that's where we get the definition of tolerance by Prabhupada. Correct, no? What did Prabhupada say? The greatness of an individual has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. That Prabhupada gives it. So you get both definition as well as a heart-touching story there. So I took it from there. Anything else? Yeah. I took at that point. Lord Vishnu is our very... And then I told one example of Krishna's tolerance also. Shishupal. So Krishna, Vishnu, both we have told. So we are their devotees, so naturally we have to be tolerant also. Jai Vijay, correct, Lord Vishnu. Jai Vijay's intolerance was pointed out by Kumaras by relating them in relation with the Lord. Bhagavat, Patikulya Shilau, like that they said. You didn't act like your Swami. People also say that, Are you guys are ISKCON? ISKCON ke bhakta aisa karte hain, people will say. Therefore, we have to represent our master, Prabhupada and Guru Parampara Acharya. Okay? And then, anything else I spoke? That is another heart-touching story. What is the most heart-touching part of Ambarish Durvasa story I told you? Yeah. That means Ambarish's tolerance transformed the angry man's heart. Correct, no? And what was the thing that deeply touched Durvasa Muni? I made a plan to kill you and you made a plan to save me. See, generally imagine you are somewhere in the park or somewhere and somebody brought a chakku and came running to kill you. Somehow you escaped. Then how many of you will hand him over to police? Honestly tell me. Correct, no? We all will hand over to police, no? Or we will request people to hand over to police. Correct or not? Isn't it? You will, because somehow you were saved now from that fellow. But will any of us think about doing any good for that fellow who came with a chakku to kill us? Think about it. It's not very easy. Somebody comes to kill us to do good for them, like Krishna did with Putana, or Ambarish did with Durvasa. It's very amazing. Therefore, Durvasa was amazed. Kritagasopi Adrajan Mangalani Sangha. You did Mangal for me. You saved my life. So there's both these stories, one of the Lord and another of the devotee. Durvasa, the Bhrigumuni story is of the Lord's tolerance. And the Ambarish pastime is of the devotee's tolerance. Two stories I said. So easy to remember for people. Lord's tolerance, devotee's tolerance. Correct, no? What else then I said? See, in devotee's tolerance also I explained the devotee's intolerance. That is Vishnu and Jai Vijay. Correct, no? Jai Vijay is opposite example. Ambarish is positive example. This is how Prabhupada gives lectures. Take a concept, give one positive example, give one negative example. Then people will be, actually by comparison and contrast your intelligence expands also. So, and then what I did after that? We should not be disproportionately angry. That means even if you may become angry sometimes, you see, none of us can say, I will never become angry. But there should be some proportion. But if you become disproportionately angry, there are many losses. Durvasa Muni had to, Durvasa Muni was about to lose his life. It was very risky for him. His life was saved because of the forgiveness of Ambarish. So one should not become disproportionately angry. And then, anything else you remember? That is solution part. Before that, some more things I spoke. I gave example. Those some of them came in solution part, but in the I was connect. First I was speaking about tolerance. Then I came to the topic of anger also. I spoke some things about anger also. Correct, no? Of course, you all are trying to recollect immediately after the speech on your own without any notes or something, but it has some order. It has. That is also tolerating less. Haridas example we gave. There are inner enemies. Then also we have temptation. Tolerating temptations and forbearing provoking situations. So two types of tolerance. Easy to remember. Tolerating temptations, tolerating forbearing situations. Correct. Provoking situations. Both are called tolerance. Both are called tolerance. Like tolerating allurements and tolerating provoking situations. Both are called tolerance. Now what example I gave? Sometimes we feel that if I am very passive and I keep on tolerating more and more and more, we feel that I will be at a loss. Others will gain. Correct. The example of missing the train again, yeah. The devotee said, Prabhuji, wait, I'm coming. He didn't come. It happened to one time to our devotees. There were 2 devotees who were getting late, so 12 devotees lost their train. Because these 2 devotees had the ticket also with them. They had gone to bathroom. They said, Prabhuji, quickly, hum aa jayenge. Later on, he told these devotees, you could have taken the ticket and gone to the train. It was a hard ticket, But this devotee said, Prabhuji, bag mein hai, aapko pata nahi chalega, hum aa jayenge. By the time they took bath and came and, went to the station, all the 12 guys missed the train. So, therefore, sometimes too much being tolerant and patient can also lead to a loss. On the other hand, being intolerant also leads to loss. Correct, no? So, then I came to the solution. Solution part, several solutions I gave. Let us see how many of you, different devotees can say, what solutions you remember? Yes, one will take. That is called visualization, we call it. Visualization. Visualize your behavior in a provoking situation. That provoking situation is likely to come. Like all of you, with some people you have a explosive relationship. With some people you have a very sweet relationship. Jolly relationship, joyful relationship. Just like Krishna dances with gopis and Rasa dance, like that your relation with some people. Very sweet relationship. You dance with them. They dance with you, you also dance with them. You are correct? You agree? So dancing relationship means what? For example, some devotee tells you that, Prabhuji, it is difficult. Like in case in the same department, some devotee tells Prabhuji, I am unable to do Pujari service for 2 days, I have to go for this. You say, why 2 days, Prabhu? 20 days also you can go. I will do you. You are my favorite, Prabhuji. Don't worry, Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, when I come back, I will compensate. You don't have to compensate, Prabhuji. No problem. That means the relationship is dancing relationship. Correct, no? If you go and tell a devotee, Prabhu, 2 days I have to go to Pujari service. Then you say, you always want to go out. I cannot allow you. You cannot go. You have to stay back. Prabhuji, if I can arrange a substitute, this is your only nature. You always go for a substitute. You never do it. So this is very rough relationship. You understand what I am saying? So, with some people you have a very sweet dancing relationship you have. That's a very wonderful thing. And you can work with them very, very smoothly, even in tough situations also. You can see that. And they understand you, you understand them, you will never misunderstand, you will tolerate them, isn't it? Yeah. So, what I was saying regarding that? Visualization, correct. So, generally you have to do visualization with whom? Especially with those with whom you have a rough relation. For example, I am going to talk to an ex-devotee with whom already some sparks have come before. Some sparks have been already seen before. Now again I have to talk to the devotee for something I have to go. Generally when you go and seek favor, that devotee will give excuses why he cannot do it. And immediately your mind will say, I know you will give excuses. Your mind may say, but you should not say that. You should visualize it. If you visualize it, what you will say? Instead of that, I can say that in case he gives excuses, I will say that, Prabhuji, can you please at least try? Can you give a try? So you have to speak differently. So you have to act out your mind. That is called visualization. How many of you are understanding this point, what I am saying? Yeah. So you know the lower nature of your mind and the higher nature you learned from Guru and Krishna and Vaishnavas. Correct, no? For example, one devotee has a gossiping nature and he is your close friend and you can't avoid him. Almost once in a day he meets you, at least here or there. So you know that recently something has happened in the temple and when you go to him, surely he is going to talk. So you have to visualize in your mind. When I go to him, he will start talking to you. क्या हुआ उसके साथ मालूम है तुमको? अभी शादी हो गया उसका. सुना तुमने? Either he is saying like that. You can say that, Prabhuji, I want to talk to you, but right now, I have some service coming up. I have to go here, I have to go there. So what is the best thing you can say in order to avoid him? You should prepare in your mind. You do the homework in your mind. And then you meet that person. Actually, if you are prepared in mind, you will definitely be able to deal with the situation. So usually, because human beings have that ability. Animals means you act on instinct. Human being means you think before you act, look before you live. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Any other point? Yes. Oh, you gave already 1 point. 1 more point, bro. Whenever you are brittle-hearted, see, we are not brittle-hearted always. In certain situations, we are brittle-hearted. You all agree? In our life, how many of you feel that we have a combination of two personalities in us? Certain things we are soft and certain things we are brittle. Yes? Correct. So then, in soft decisions, no problem. In case we have to make a brittle decision, my mind is not able to give me any other solution. What I should do? Consult few other well-wishers, devotees, and they may give me a better perspective. And don't make snap decisions. That way we can be tolerant. Yeah. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Think about how the superiors will act in this situation, how Prabhupada will act, how Guru Maharaj will act. Think of superiors, and also act on their behalf as their representative. Don't bring bad reputation to them. Then, anything else? Think of the consequences. As soon as think of consequences, you will also become afraid. I should not become excessively intolerant. How many of you, while cultivating new boys, you are very tolerant? Honestly tell me. Correct, no? And you know why you are tolerant. If you are not tolerating them, they will go away. Correct, no? Especially very, very young new people. So, we know the consequences of intolerance. Then, one more I said. Always? Seeing the good qualities of the devotee will help us to calm down our anger. You feel this much anger towards somebody, and then when you hear his good qualities, slowly your hand comes down. I don't want to beat him like that, I want to beat this much only. Not in a very... So your anger reduces. As it becomes lesser and lesser, the more you think of the good side of the devotee. So that also requires contemplation and writing down. Correct, no? Most important thing is that one. Because we have found out that anger arises from and ends in, arises in Rajaguna, ends in Tamaguna. Therefore, Rajaguna, Tamaguna are the root of Kama, Krodha, Lobha. So let us cultivate Sattva-guna. And there are 10 items Lord Krishna speaks to Uddhava in the 11th canto. I think 15th chapter or something. 3 modes of material nature. You can read the chapter and we can cultivate the Sattva-guna more. And this way we can. So there are many. So if you see the talk that I gave now in 23 minutes or something like that, it's not that directly I ran to solution. I also spoke something Shastri. Correct, no? I think I spoke 50-50, I think. Correct? 10 minutes I spoke some Shastric examples and day-to-day examples and all. Then 10 minutes I spoke, solution to tolerance. Then people will feel that, I attended this seminar and they gave me some tips which I can go back home and apply in my everyday life. Then people will be happy with that. Otherwise, you give truckload of many stories and examples and analogies, everything. People will say, it's my experience also. I went to 2 or 3 companies where I did on stress management. I used to have 90 slides or 120 slides in those days. In the early days, and I used to make slideshows. And by the time I come to 50th or 60th slide, the time will be over. Because I would explain what are the different type of stresses, physical stress, mental stress, this stress, that stress. And then you have defined the stress very nicely, but you have not given solution to that. And many people feedback were very angry with me. They complained to me saying that this Swamiji is giving nice, problem definition. But he has not given any. And then they told the problem definition, why are you giving? We will tell you. We are experiencing it. You ask us what stress we are facing, but we thought your Swamiji, so cool-headed Swamiji should give us also a cool head. Swamiji just gave a nice seminar, smiled and went away with no solution for us. So many of them gave feedback like that. So therefore, actually we also have to anticipate what audience are looking for. Audience are not happy only with our presentation of examples and everything. We have to give solution also. Yeah. So, but it was a good presentation, as I told you. Many positive points they got also. So that was good. So let us chant one loud Hari Bol for them.